Okay.
Blog Talk Radio.
Oh, it's time to get real. Oh, yeah. It's a new experience. Spirituality. Yeah, keep your ears open for this one now. Spirituality. You got a question for RLN? Spirituality. Yeah, it's time to get some answers, baby. Spirituality. Oh, now we getting real. Getting real.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Reality Spirituality Radio with yours truly, happiness specialist, inner peace practitioner, oracle, but most importantly, a student, an ongoing student. This journey, this practicing never ends. Woo! Happiness specialist. What the hell does that even mean? Happiness specialist. How dare she? How could she? It's impossible to be happy all the time. What's wrong with her? Happiness, I don't even like that word. I rather the word joy. Anyway, welcome to my world. Welcome to my life. Thank you so much for sharing the show. I'm getting more followers, more listeners, more audience listeners, and I really do appreciate that. And all I'm doing here, this little old me, happiness specialist, is just sharing with as many people that are inspired to have a curiosity about this thing called happiness. Is it possible? Is it possible to maintain and sustain a vibration of happiness? And just for clarity, I define happiness as the ability to vibrate an energy of peace and contentment regardless of what happens. You know what happens in this world, ups and downs, but the program is life is going well, I feel great, or gee, life is bad and things are happening. I'm getting hit by a baseball bat to the back of my head, and life is horrible. Life sucks. I'm here to tell you that both of those definitions, both of those stories, both of those labels are judgments. Number one, judgment is a program. Let me just back up a little bit because I'm already on fire. I'm already on fire since this morning. I could give you a story, and I will. The book that I just published this year, it's called Programmed for Unhappiness. If you're watching me live on YouTube, I'm holding it up, Programmed for Unhappiness. You can, Exposing the Untold Truth. You can find it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Digital to Digit, Lulu. Anyway, you can find the book, Programmed for Unhappiness. And in this book, I list 56 programs, and a couple of weeks ago I found another program. So it's really 57. I'm going to have to update the book, Program for Unhappiness, and that's all I do here is share with people what program behaviors to eliminate so you can experience more of this thing we call happiness. And again, it is a personal vibration, a personal energy. Which has nothing to do with anything that happens. It has nothing to do with any external circumstances. That's a lot. A little bit of housekeeping. Every Saturday morning, Saturday at 9:15, I'm live on YouTube. My son and I do a show. It's called, okay, hold on, because we had to change the title because of the algorithm. So it's called, What Happens When a Mom and Son Make Sense Out of Nonsense, plus more. What happens when a mom and son make sense out of nonsense, plus more. Every Saturday morning, 9:15, live on YouTube. Welcome. Let me just give you, because I do have a lot of new followers. I even had a woman that reached out to me on Noon Vibe. Oh, and if you're listening on Noon Vibe, just ask to join the stage. You know how that goes. And she says, I've never heard of you before, but I like your content about happiness. Thank you. Right off the bat, there is a very famous study. You can Google it. It's called The 5 Most Common Regrets of the Dying. It was a study done by a hospice nurse, Bronnie Ware, and she had patients that were days to live, weeks to live, months to live, and she asked them, what are your biggest regrets? I mean, these people were dying, one foot in the grave. They know they're dying. I can't even imagine knowing, I mean, we all have days that are numbered, but knowing that weeks, months, and a limited amount of time, I can't even imagine. Even though I had two friends in Oregon, and within a month or two of each other, they were given 6 months to live. And both of them handled that news totally differently based on their programming. One was angry and one was loving, even to the point of writing a note to her husband, telling her husband, hey, after I go, I want you to date. I want you to go out. I want you to meet someone else. And in fact, I think Sally Jo Martin would be great, and I think Barbara J. Fox would be great. I mean, she even listed some of the people that she wanted him to pursue and go out with. So, and that's all based on a program. I mean, I get chills just thinking about her. Shout out to Tina, which I dedicate that is my first dedication in the book Program for Unhappiness. But boy, oh boy, do I digress. Let me get back to the topic. What is the topic? Oh, the 5 most, Lord have mercy, the 5 most common regrets of the dying. The 5 most common regrets of the dying. Number 1, I should have all this memorized, but I don't. And I've got enough in my brain to memorize. Okay, so the 5 most common regrets of the dying. The first one is, I wish I would have pursued my dreams and aspirations and not the life others expected of me. Number 2, I wish I didn't work so hard. Number 3, I wish I had the courage to express my feelings and speak my mind. Number 4, I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. Number 5, I wish I would have been happier. And I'll tell you this, that this happiness, the good news is happiness, the ability to maintain and sustain happiness, again, it is energy, a vibration. It's not something happens and now you shift. And the energy and the vibration is that of contentment. Let me just be very clear. This happiness, inner peace, contentment are all a practice skill. All practice skills like any other skill from painting. I got to come up with some new skills. Being a chef, speaking, a landscaper, doctor, surgeon. I mean, all of it, every skill takes practice. An athlete, every skill takes practice. A musician. Did I say musician already? Every skill takes practice, and it's the same thing with happiness, contentment, and peace. The question becomes, how committed are you? Are you even willing to, or do you even value this thing called contentment and peace? I mean, you could still do your hustle, hustle, but there can be a level. Scratch that level. There can be a foundation of contentment under all of the hustle, under all of the activity, and that's what I share with people: what to practice, how to eliminate, how to focus on. Scratch that. How to. Oh Lord, my words. I have so many things in my head. How to Okay, anyway, how to focus on, how to commit to, is it even important? Do you even value this thing called contentment? And most of the programmed don't. That's where I come in. Let me just back up a little bit. So happiness, contentment, inner peace are all practice skills. And if I can do it, if I can practice, which is 45 years of practicing, plus more, you can do it. Okay, so I've been having issues with Blog Talk Radio, the technical issues, and I just got an email a couple of days ago. Blog Talk Radio is going out of business. This is a platform that I've used for almost 15 years. I have almost 80,000 listens. That seems like a lot to me. 80,000 listens over in today's world. But yeah, and so the platform where you can call in and ask questions live is going bye-bye. So if anybody wants to reach out and email me other platforms that I can have live callers while I'm doing the show, I would really appreciate it. Not chat. I want people calling in live, just like Dr. Laura did, or who else? Who else does live calls? Let's see. No, Joe Rogan doesn't do live calls. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. So I'm not frantically, but I am not desperately. I'm calmly looking for another platform where people can call in live and speak to me live. Okay, the number to call in, one of my listeners, Jay, said that the number is working today because I've had technical issues for the last 2 weeks. But the number to call in and speak with me live is area code 646-564-9619. Again, area code 646-564-9619. And or if you're listening live on Noom Vibe, you know how to just press, just request to go onto the stage. Yeah. Let me just share this. This is I found this cartoon. It was on Facebook. Really funny. So it's a picture. I'm holding it up if you're watching me live on YouTube. My YouTube channel is Rebecca Norrington. Yes, I finally killed my ego. Now I'm better than everybody else. It sounds like something I used to believe. Yeah, I finally killed my ego. Now I'm better than anyone else. I don't know, 45 years plus of sharing this, I haven't been able to kill my ego yet. And it's not even, for at this moment, it's not even important to me to kill it or to hate on it or to have a resistance to it, but definitely recognize there are two entities. I'm either programmed and I'm either operating from my human self, my personal self, my mind, or I'm operating from another level of awareness and presence. Those are my two choices, unless I'm asleep, which that's a bad joke. So the ego for me, and I share my personal experience because that's all I know is me and the journey. And so my personal experience is I've got this ego, and that ego yesterday, whoo-wee, which brings me to today's topic. That ego yesterday had me in a headlock. I mean, it would not let go, even to the point I called my best friend, and we've been growing together for 30 years. And I called him and I said, and I was explaining, I was giving a story. Here we go, because telling a story is also another program. And I was telling him a story, and I will share with you the story. Hopefully my family member isn't listening. I'll share with you the story. But I was telling him, scratch that. Rebecca, you see the difference? Rebecca was telling him all of the stories and explaining and justifying the reason, justifying for my reason for being annoyed, being angry, being bothered. And let me say this, another practice is not to label my emotions. What? Yeah, labeling emotions? Who's in charge of labeling? What's the different vibration from sadness to loneliness? It's a vibration, it's an energy. So what's the difference between anger and irritated? You follow it? You follow me? So what do I put in place instead? What I do is I just say and express that I'm feeling. I'm human. I'm feeling. I don't say what I'm feeling. I don't have a story as to why I'm feeling. I'm feeling happy. I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling angry. I'm feeling jealous. All anxiety. All of it. What about just I'm feeling? I'm human, and this is a moment where I'm feeling a lot of, and I'm you could say charged, energized. What does my son say? He says charged. There's just a lot of nondescript, non-judgmental feelings. So there's no label. I'm in love. Well, who's putting the label on the feeling? Is that presence? Or is that more of the human? Not more of. That's what humans do. It is. One of my favorite teachers. His name is Moji, Mooji. If you haven't listened to Moji, YouTube. He's got plenty of videos. This guy, and in fact, I've done a couple of talks or shared some of Moji's teachings on the show. You can just look at the archives, either from Blog Talk Radio or let's see what else, Blog Talk Noon, all of those. So the ego says be yourself, but which self? In other words, living consciously all the time, being self-aware. Which entity is driving? Which entity is in charge? And so yesterday, yours truly was having this is personal attack. And I mean it. And I knew, I just knew it was personal. Oh, I had so much evidence to prove that it was personal. And I called my best friend, and of course, it's so annoying. He says, what did he say? He says, well, you know you're taking it personally, and you know you're believing in the story, and you know that. And then I said, can you just be human for a minute? Can you get off your spiritual high horse and help me? I'm in the quicksand of humanness. Help. But the ego had me so caught up that I didn't even want help. I wanted to wallow. The ego wanted to wallow and feel all of this justification, and I know I'm right. I know it's personal. It wouldn't let me go, and guess what? I held on too. And let me back up just a little bit. Because all of these feelings, I'm speaking for myself yesterday, all of these feelings, if I am, and I believe that I am, spirit, soul, God, consciousness having a human experience, I do believe that. Spirit, God, consciousness, awareness, presence, having a human experience, then guess what? God wants to experience all of that angst too. So even and part of it was flowing through it. I was very aware of what I was doing and feeling and blaming and justifying, very aware of it. But God, the universe, source, whatever term you want to use, has a cruel sense of humor. Happiness specialist in a tizzy for almost 2 hours, taking shit personally. Now let me share with you what I took personally. Lord, 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 here we go. In May of 2024, I had my right hip replaced. Now, I had my left hip replaced a couple of years ago. A little bit of background. I am a fitness instructor. I'm still a fitness instructor, but now I teach fitness. I teach low-impact classes, but I also teach a class in a chair. It's called Stand or, it used to kill me just to say it because I'm an ex-boot camp instructor. Now I'm in a chair. It's called Stand or Sit and Get Fit. Lord, somebody save me. Stand or sit and get fit. And you can get, and I can get my heart rate up. Standing, sitting, and it's a whole movement. Let me just. Where's my water? Hold on, audience. Hold on. I need to take a gulp. Hold on. Oh, Voss water. I've been drinking this Voss water. It was on sale at Costco. It's the wetter, better water. I'm waiting for Voss to contact me so they can be a sponsor for the show. Hold on. I need to take a gulp. Screwing the top on the bottle back so I don't spill it. Okay. What was I talking about? Oh, hip surgery. Yeah. So stand or sit and get fit. And I can do low impact classes also. However, when I was younger, I taught boot camp classes for almost 26 years. And yes, left hip replaced, right hip replaced. But by the way, if you know of anybody or you yourself need to have hip replacement surgery, make sure the doctor, the surgeon is doing is performing the latest, which is called anterior hip replacement. Anterior hip replacement, they cut you right in the front, not on the side, not in the back, not in the half, not on the side, right in the front. And you're walking the same day of surgery. So I just wanted to throw that out. Boy, oh boy, I can go around on a tangent. So hip replacement surgery in May. And I'm living in a community where I have relatives. I have relatives here. And this one couple, I'm really being descriptive, but this is the truth, and I never hide from the truth. So one couple, my nephew is so helpful. I mean, this young man goes beyond the call of duty. You know, these people that would just help strangers. They're just helpers. They love helping. I mean, he is just from the TV, from the cable, hooking up the TV to the phone. Especially for us older people. I mean, I'm 68 years old. Don't tell anybody. I'm 68 and I'll be 69 in 2 weeks. Don't tell anybody. Anyway, he's just he's younger, and he's very helpful to the senior community, helping us old people out that are challenged by technology, are challenged by the car. You know, when you have a newer car, you got to plug in your contact. Actually, right now you don't even have to plug in contact. He's just very open to helping. And he's always been like that. That's his nature. Great, great guy. And he's married to my niece, who is not like him, but just they're a nice couple, nice young couple. Let me just say that. Now, when I did in May, when I was having, and I'm going to get to the taking personal in just a second. When I did have my surgery in May, my best friend could only stay with me for 3 days. And the first hip replacement, it went so smoothly. I was dancing, I was walking, I let go of the walker. I didn't need the walker after 4 days, but this right hip was more of a challenge, and I was in excruciating pain for almost 2 weeks. Meaning, and I'm not one to call people and complain, or not complain, but even share, I'm in pain and it's hard for me to walk. I mean, I had that walker for a long time. This right side was tougher. The recovery was tougher. So back up. I spoke to maybe 4 family members and let them know that I was having hip replacement surgery. Now, why am I not sharing it with the world? I share with the world after events only because I know that the program people, if I say, well, this is happening, then the program response is, that one, which is the program response, backing up. So I didn't really share with a lot of people, but there were 4 people in the family that I did say. And one of the people that I shared was this couple. Not the gentleman that's the helper. I shared with his wife. Here we go. This is the story. The ego, my ego, Rebecca's ego. When I was recovering, here we go. Here comes the program. I had expectations that she would share with my nephew, who would help beyond. I mean, it's a huge family, and if anybody said, hey, who helps the most, everybody would point to him. From helping you pick out a car, insurance, I mean, you name it. He's just a big-hearted, kind, helpful soul. Now, I shared with his wife that I was having surgery, and I had expectations that she was going to let him know. So then I'll have some help after surgery. I could have somebody pick up food for me so I could eat. Or get my ice packs. I mean, it was constant with the ice packs. It was really brutal. And if I say it's brutal because I'm one that can stand a lot of discomfort, challenge. I mean, all of it. Boot camp instructor. I'm one of those. Well, it happened that she didn't share that I was having surgery because months later, 4 months later or 3 months later, my nephew overheard, oh yeah, Becky, my family calls me Becky. Becky had surgery. And he was so, number one, shocked and had no clue because no one said anything, including me. You see how everything, it's just so annoying that all of it comes back to the person in the mirror. Yes, it all comes back to me. But that's how powerful you are too. It all comes back to me. Blaming. So now, number one, I had expectations that she was going to tell this gem of a guy to help me, number one. Number two, I blamed her that she didn't tell because I didn't have any help. And of course, I could have gotten on the phone because I talked to someone, another family member. Well, why didn't you call? Why didn't you call directly? Why are you waiting for someone else to say that? And you're right. Everyone was right. But the bigger picture is, you ready? The bigger picture is all of it was a lesson. All of it was a lesson. All of it was an opportunity for me to get to another level of acceptance of what I need to practice more of. And that is taking it personally, because I did take that personally. I did take it personally. And now let's get to yesterday. So I've got these stories in my head that, because we in the past, like attracts like. And if I'm pointing my finger at someone and I'm saying that they're controlling, or I'm pointing my finger at someone and I'm saying that they are live in the past, or whatever compliment, not a compliment, I give, I have to own it. I'm really talking about me. Oh, that hurt. Oh, please, universe, let that not be true. I'm really talking about me. Any person I describe, I didn't light my candles. I always light my candles during the show. I didn't forget. I just ran out of time. I only had 2 hours this morning, but you know how it goes when you're into drama. Run out of time. Well, you know what? I even have that solution. God, the universe, wants to feel rushed, so that I've let that go. God wants to feel rushed. God wants to run out of time. Okay, I'm just a passenger. Let me get back to the taking things personally. The family is celebrating Thanksgiving early, and it just happens to be at this woman's home. And I said, oh gosh, she didn't even tell her husband, and I needed help, and just all of this stuff going around in my head, and I took what happened, or what didn't happen, me getting help for the 2 weeks that I was in excruciating pain, personally. I took everything that was from a text to a sentence, to a communication. It's because she doesn't like me. Now there are a lot of people that, believe it or not, don't like me. In fact, that's just par for the course. And I don't take that personally, especially now that the reach is global. I don't take that personally. I practice not taking that personally. But for some reason, scratch that, not for some reason, the universe said, Rebecca, or whoever I am, Rebecca, you have more lessons to learn. Even though you think you got your shit together with this practicing eliminating 57 program behaviors. 57. I did have expectations. I was pointing the finger. And I did say this is personal. Something about, now this is the story, but I'm going to throw it out. The old Rebecca, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 20 years for sure. Oh my goodness. The people, listen, oh Lord, the people that irritated her or annoyed her were exactly like her. Were very carbon copies. Yeah, and it's funny how that works out to be true. Whatever I look at and put a label on, they're controlling, they're clueless, they're stupid. Whatever label I put on whatever label Rebecca puts on these people, she owns. That's part of who she is. It is this journey is a constant reflection of self. And yesterday I was bombarded with looking in the mirror, and you know what? I knew I was taking it personally, and I knew that taking something personally was off. I knew that wasn't universal. I knew I was captured in captivity by my ego. I knew all that, but I couldn't shake it. In other words, you're taking it personally. Stop it. Stop it now. But I had to ride out that wave. I had to ride out that wave of all of those feelings. Now, what I'm sharing with you is a story. You follow me? A story of family member. But what really happened is the universe wanted to experience all of this heated, hot stimulation, charge, all of that for 2 hours. It probably was more than 2 hours. But, I like to exaggerate when something is really good, and then when it's not, downplay it. It probably was at least 3 hours. I mean, because this thought has been ruminating since May. I pulled in some shit from May of how I didn't get any help. You follow? Whew. I can't believe I'm admitting all this. Nah, I can believe it. Since May, I had this thought that, wow, she didn't even tell anybody. Nobody said anything. Nobody's assisting me. I never asked for help. And then when I really need help, nobody's around. I mean, all of these ego stories. And every story was about being discontented. Every story was justified. Every story that I told myself, because the ego talks to itself. Don't think that the ego is just one entity. Oh, it has more than one disguise. Oh, there's the good ego, there's the sad ego, there's the angry ego. All of it is got. So the ego has conversations with itself. And I was in a loop of ego against ego for 2-3 hours yesterday. The ego had me locked, stock, tied up in its own jail. And why? Because of all the programming. The only reason I suffer is believing the stories and allowing a program to take over. These programs run deep. I shared on the show yesterday with my son every Saturday at 9:15 we're live on YouTube. It's called What Happens When a Mother and Son Make Sense Out of Nonsense, plus more. I was sharing with my son yesterday that I got my hair cut this week, and this is my first time going to this hairdresser, and she cut my hair. I've got curly hair, so she cut my hair at an angle, and I wanted the way I described the cut, I wanted the shape to look the same all the way around. I wanted it to be even all the way around. You can't cut my curly hair. You can't cut curly hair, at least for me. You can't cut my hair with it going short in the back and then long in the front. You know that look. Short in the back, long in the front. The long in the front, I might as well just have bozo ears on the side. It just doesn't work with my curly hair. And I'm telling you, my ego got a hold of me again. I mean, it's active. Full moon is out. I really do believe that the energy my energy is affected by the full moon, and right before the full moon comes out, boy, oh boy, I need to be in a cave somewhere, not having conversations with anyone. Can anybody relate? It's called hibernating. How did I get on that? Oh, okay, I remember. So the haircut was just, oh my goodness, and the ego just knows exactly what strings to pull and what buttons to push and what stories to tell to keep me in a loop of discontentment. Because that's the mainstay. That's the fuel. That's the food of the ego. Discontentment. This is an unwanted moment. This shouldn't be happening. Something's wrong. The ego doesn't want to flow with what is, flow with the present moment. No. It likes to resist. You know, those hurdles that the athletes that are track stars jump over. No, the ego likes to run right into them. Run right into the hurdle. Can you imagine? So you're running and you just run right into the hurdle. Yeah, that's what my ego does. Just runs right in. Yeah, full force. But the awareness is the work, my dear audience. The awareness is the work. So back to the haircut. Oh, attachments. Here we go. That's another program, being attached. And I have to say that my hair, like Samson, is someone told me a long time ago, your hair is your brand. But my hair, I mean, the attachment to this hair and the look of this hair, and it's not angled correctly. It's not cut right. I had this, there's only been 2 people in my lifetime that have known how to cut my hair exactly the way that I want it cut. 2. One, and they're both in California. And the last gentleman, he was trained by Vidal Sassoon. I digress. And of course and so when I go back to California, he cuts my hair, but it's been a couple of years. And now he's living in Japan. So I was like, I'm gonna have to make a trip. It's been an ordeal. It may not sound important to you, but my haircut, shape of my hair, is important to Rebecca and her ego. So back to that, and I'm telling you, when I realized that it was short in the back, long in the front, my ego couldn't be any happier. Couldn't be at more distressed. Can you imagine? And then here we go. 2 days ago, I went for my 3 times a year, 4 times a year checkup. And when you get to be 68, you got to have your blood work done. All of it. A lot of things you got to check that you didn't check when you were younger. And so I've been experiencing these little bouts of tightness in my chest. It doesn't last for long, maybe less than 5 minutes. But it happens. It's been happening for the last couple of months, and it happens when practically every day, every other day. And so I told my doctor here, and I said I want to know and get that checked out. He says, oh, well, when you had your surgery in May, your EKG was great. I said, yeah, this is just last month, buddy. 2 months ago, not in May. 2 months ago, I've been experiencing this. You really have to be your own advocate. You really have to be your own advocate. Anyway, so then he tested me in his office. I had another EKG, and sure enough, there was a difference in this. Am I getting off the topic? I don't know. With this EKG and the last one that I took. And so to the point where he says, okay, I'm going to refer you to a cardiologist. I've never been to a cardiologist in my life, but I'm going on Friday. Do you know that the haircut was more important to the ego than this this appointment with the cardiologist on Friday. There's no worry, there's no concern, there's nothing. But boy, oh boy, that haircut that's life-ending. Anyway, that's just a little backstory. Back to taking things personally. Again, if you want to join the stage on Noon Vibe, just ask to join. And I am also live on YouTube. Yes, YouTube on Rebecca Norrington channel. And Blog Talk Radio, I don't know if people are calling in or not. The number to call in, we've been having technical issues for the last 2 weeks. And let's see, 646-564-9619. Again, area code 646-564-9619. Okay, back to the taking it personally. The angst, the disruption, the energy of there's something wrong is palatable now, especially after these elections. And I even did a show last week, the truth about the reactions of this election. And it's not about a side. It's about the programming that is so ingrained, that is so deeply seated, that if you are not living consciously and aware, you're going to get caught up. You're going to get caught up in the hurricane of emotions and the hurricane of beliefs, and knowing this is another program, knowing that this is right. But back to taking things personally. It's a habit. It's a practice. It's a priority. It's a commitment to let go of taking anything personally. And in fact, there's what is his name? The 4 agreements, and I don't have that in front of me, but one of them is don't take anything personally. Just taking things personally is a program that started, that was learned at a very early age from children to comparing themselves. Well, Johnny got a bicycle, and all I got was a puzzle. That's personal. I humbly request, this is homework, I humbly request that you pay attention, my dear audience, you pay attention to all of the things that you take personally. And that goes from race, gender, neighbors, people getting away with injustice, taking it personally. I remember this one woman in my class, I teach a class, The Truth About Happiness, and she was crying because of the results of, scratch that. She was crying because her ego told her a story that it was because of the results. You follow me? So know that your feelings aren't personal. What? Your emotions and your feelings are not even personal. This is an impersonal, I'm going to write that down because I've never said that before. Your feelings and your emotions are not personal. It's just energy that the ego wants you to believe is you. I'm not going to, scratch that, I'm going to practice not identifying with I feel my body, this body. Who am I when I'm talking about I? This personal thing, even feelings and emotions, are not personal. That's what I practice. And what is going on when I'm feeling all this? It's just humans, and it's time to feel whatever I'm feeling. Now, the practice becomes, can I enjoy those emotions that the ego deems unwanted? Can I enjoy the anger? Yes. when I don't attach a story, and when I don't take anything personally. You see how everything comes back to the person in the mirror? Everything came all the way back to the person in the mirror. And the realization is it wasn't personal. It wasn't personal. God, source, universe, label it whatever you want, wanted to experience 2 weeks of being by myself with no one helping me, and talk about going into a state. If you want a story, here's the story. I went in such a dark state. Dark state, challenging state, and then to throw on some excruciating pain just for icing on the cake. Thanks, universe. Guess what? It's over. Next moment. And I don't even talk about. This is the first time I've even talked about in detail of this surgery. I'm not talking about anything in the past unless somebody asks me. The practice is to live in the present moment. And when I take anything personally, you included, audience, it's from the past. Can you imagine living in the present moment and every moment is new and fresh, which is what it really is before the programming? It's new. I'm not taking anything personally if I'm living in the present moment. I'm not taking anything personally if I trust and believe that everything that I experience, I'm supposed to experience. This whole thing, this is a big one. I can't even believe I waited till the end for this. Listen to this. This disrespected. I'm disrespected. That's a big one. Honeys, nobody can disrespect you. That's another program. Disrespected, rude, all of it. They're rude or they're mean. No, that's what the ego conveys. That's the ego stories. Life is an experience without judgment. Life is an experience without labels. Now, I know the human, what are you going to do? Just not talk? Just be mindful. Mindful of what's the truth and what's not. I give this example as I remember watching, it's National Geographic. I've given this example a lot. So if you've heard it a million times, this is 1,000,001. When the penguins, March of the Penguins, I don't know if it was in March of the Penguins, it's a movie, but it was about penguins, and if a mommy and a daddy penguin have two little baby penguins, they only feed one. They feed the stronger one. They don't feed the weaker penguin. They feed the stronger penguin. When the mommy and the daddy penguin have babies, if they have two, the other one's a goner. Sayonara, little baby, and they leave the small one, the weak one, to die. Is that personal? Well, maybe to that little weak baby penguin. Second example, always look to nature. The lion, the alpha lion who who fights for the right to mate with the alpha lioness. Well, if the lioness has cubs, and this new alpha lion comes into the neighborhood, the alpha lion isn't going to adopt those step little lion cubs. The alpha lion is going to kill those cubs Is that personal? And I always get pushback. Well, those are animals. These are humans. I get it. But if you want to experience more contentment, the energy of contentment, the vibration of peace and happiness, the practice is to let go of taking anything personal. And my last example, my son who is, come on, I love that kid, 39 years old, and he's a free spirit, totally, he's different than me, but also we have the same kind of sense of humor, but he's a different kind of cat. And whereas I could talk to him every day, every day. I could talk to him in the morning, I could talk to him in the afternoon and in the evening, but this kid doesn't want to talk to his mother all day. He doesn't want to talk to his mother every day. I remember when my parents were alive, and I was in California and they moved to Vegas. I called them every day. I wanted to talk to them. But boy, oh boy, the universe blessed me with one son that is not interested in calling his mother every day. It's just not his thing. Now, there was a time, years ago, decades ago, a little over a decade, I took that personally. And it took him, see, this is a story too. You hear this, listen to this story come out. And it took him to teach me that it's not personal if he doesn't want to call me every day. You see how that story just popped out? That's a story too. You want to know the truth? It wasn't time for me to learn that lesson. That whether my son calls me every day or texts me, it's not personal. It just wasn't time for me to learn that lesson. But do you see how easy it is to attach a story with the word because? That's the key. When you use the word because, who is authoring the story after that word because? So let me back up to my son. This is I've told this before. And I believe that when you really love someone, not this bullshit human love where there's a lot of conditions attached. When you really love someone, that you let go of wanting them to be anything other than who they are. So my son being the example is I can call him on the phone, or I call him on the phone, and we're having a conversation, and it could be 10 minutes, it could be 15 minutes, it could be a half hour, it could be whatever time, and I hang up the phone, and I forgot to tell him this. Oh, I forgot to mention. Oh, I forgot. And I call him right back. I mean, we haven't hung up the phone. It's 30 seconds, 10 seconds. And I call him right back. And guess what this kid does? Probably 98% of the time. And that ain't no exaggeration. 98% of the time, this kid doesn't answer. He's talked to me as much as he wants to. He is done, even if he's not doing anything, even if he's just sitting at home staring at the wall. He is not interested in talking to me again. So he doesn't answer the phone. Now, when he implemented all of this years and years and years ago, don't think that I wasn't bothered because, wait a minute, I forgot this. But that's not personal. Him not answering the phone is not personal. And then, especially for you parents out there, Practice giving your children the freedom to be themselves, whether they want to talk to you on the phone or not, whether they want to attend your Thanksgiving dinner or not. When you go, when I go, if it's before the child leaves the planet, goes to another dimension. I don't know about you, but I don't want anybody to feel. I don't want my son to feel relief. Oh gosh, she's gone. Thank God I don't have to suffer through her Thanksgiving dinners forever. Thank God I don't have to suffer through her phone calls that she could talk to me for an hour. I mean, I don't want relief. I don't want anyone to be around me or talking to me out of obligation. Now it's your mother, now you're obligated to answer the phone. No, this kid doesn't answer the phone every time I call, but I definitely know some people who practice and implement. If I'm calling you, I'm your mother, I'm your father, I'm your sister, I'm your significant other, I'm your husband, I'm your wife, I'm your girlfriend, I'm your boyfriend. You better pick up the phone. This is a way out story. Years ago, I remember, which I don't do anymore, but I remember watching Ellen and A-Rod, Alex Rodriguez, and Jennifer Lawrence. No, not Lawrence. J-Lo, Jennifer Lopez. They just started dating. And A-Rod was on Ellen, and Ellen was saying, what's up? How's the relationship going? It was right in the beginning stages. And A-Rod said, you can Google that on YouTube. A-Rod said, "Oh, if Jennifer Lopez calls, you better answer the phone." Now, I said to myself at that moment, that relationship is doomed. But I'm not up here making predictions. But anytime you obligate someone to behave in a certain way, or else you're going to react, is that love? I don't even know how I got onto A-Rod. Anyway, back to this obligation. Taking it personally, that's what I wanted to say. So if I text my son and he doesn't text me back for a day or 2 or 3 days, or never, you know what he does to me too? I like to leave audio messages. We talk on the phone. Sometimes we FaceTime. Sometimes we text. And then sometimes we leave audio messages. And believe me, it's not every day, even though I would love that to be every day. Scratch that. My ego would love that to be every day. Because apparently the universe doesn't want that. It's not my plan. It's not my plan. So back up. So I'll leave an audio message. And this kid, or even a voice message, this kid doesn't listen to them. And he feels a certain way because he says, "Mom, I don't listen to all your voice messages. I don't read all your texts." I said, "That's okay. You don't have to listen to my voice messages. You don't have to read my text. None of it." Now, this is the exception is if I really needed something or he really needed something. I put that under the category of emergency. You follow me? But yeah, emergency. No, I'm talking about every day. He doesn't listen. Sometimes he doesn't listen to my voice memos, and I even know it. And in fact, I leave the message inside the voice message that you may not even listen to this. But it's not personal that he doesn't listen. He's just not inspired to listen. He's just not inspired to call to pick up the phone again. And I'm not going to take it personally. Oh, scratch. I don't take that personally. But you see how the ego finds worms its way into my psyche to, well, she's got the thing with her son mastered, and she doesn't take anything that he does personally, but I bet she'll take something personally from a relative. Yeah, let's get her on that one. Bam. And yesterday, they were right. However, it all comes back to a lesson and an opportunity for growth and an opportunity to be even more aware and an opportunity to practice even more. No blame, no expectations. Don't take anything personally. Everything is in order. Trust, surrender, repeat. That's it. So all you people out there pointing fingers and it's because of them and they are A, B, C, label whatever you want, you're taking the shit personally. You're taking this shit personally, and it's not. I could sign a contract, and the contract goes through or the contract is breached. It ain't personal. You know what? That would be a good song. That would be a good, what do they call it, a good hook. It ain't personal. It ain't personal. It ain't personal. It ain't personal. Lord have mercy. Somebody help me with that. Now, if you haven't tuned out and you're still listening, it's not personal. This is an impersonal world. The sun shines on the serial killer and the Pope. Program for Unhappiness on Amazon. Reality Spirituality Radio is heard every Sunday. Hold on. So that's the end of today's show. And I want to thank you for listening. Reality Spirituality Radio is heard every Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And every Saturday at 9:15, I do a live show with my son. It's called What Happens When a Mother and Son Make Sense Out of Nonsense, plus more. Follow me on Twitter at RL Norrington, LinkedIn. My Instagram handle is Reality Spirituality, and my YouTube channel is Rebecca Norrington. Everything is a work in progress. Boy, oh boy, I'm getting more subscribers. Actually, I have someone helping me with the algorithms. And then also, let's see, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. My website is RebeccaNorrington.com. My first book, Reality Spirituality, The Truth About Happiness, is on Amazon. And this book that I just published this year, Program for Unhappiness, Exposing the Untold Truth. And remember, my dear audience, and by the way, in the book I said I list program behaviors that subtract from happiness. I also list 26 behaviors that add to happiness. 26 behaviors that you can practice that are going to add to your contentment, your peace, guaranteed. Program behaviors. And now, so taking anything personally, and when I say program behaviors, there are different levels. Level 1, Level 2, Level 3. Where is taking it personally? It is a level. I'm looking for the level. Is it a level 1? It's a level 1. That means all you civilians out there, you get it. You want the world to be a better place. You want to inspire and uplift and shift the vibration, the energy of the planet. All you do-gooders out there, shift your own energy. Elevate your own energy. Elevate your energy to a level of contentment as opposed to discontentment. Practice vibrating an energy of satisfaction as opposed to dissatisfaction. Make choices between peace or drama. You know the difference. What are you going to be creating? Peace or drama when you're speaking to anyone? And until next week, my dear audience, I want you to remember who the hell you are. You're a physical extension of the universe. Your conscious energy having a human experience, always evolving, always changing, always growing. Love is patient and love is kind. Be kind and be patient to yourself by accepting yourself in every moment. Be your own best friend. Remember, you cannot have a happy ending to an unhappy journey. It is about the journey. That's a quote from Abraham Hicks. You've been listening to Reality Spirituality Radio with yours truly, Global Happiness Specialist Rebecca L. Norrington. Thank you, and remember, happiness is a practice skill, and I promise you that the more you practice, the more peace you're going to find, and the more you're going to experience that energy, that level of contentment. Everything that you practice reflects on what you experience. Practice focusing on it. Practice coming up with a different perspective. Because I'll tell you, yesterday I could not come up with another perspective other than it's personal. And you know it's all ego. You know it's all ego because the ego only manages to come up with one perspective. Happiness is a practice skill. Have a conscious week. Thank you for listening.
Yeah. Oh, it's time to get real. Oh, yeah. It's a new experience. Reality, spirituality. Yeah, keep your ears open for this one, man. Reality, spirituality. You got a question for RLN? Reality, spirituality. Yeah, it's time to get some answers, baby. Reality, spirituality. Oh, now we get real. Reality, spirituality. Yeah, it's time to get down. Reality, spirituality. Yeah, you gonna feel good now. Real good. That's what I'm talking about. Time to get real.
I'm still what? Don't tell me that didn't go live. I hope it went live. I hope that went live. If it didn't, it didn't. What am I going to do? How's that? Looks so good, too. It didn't go live. So good. Damn it. So good. Damn it. So bad. Oh, that's so bad. Whatever. Oops. And I'm up here talking. Hi, Blog Talk Radio. I just found out that my live didn't go live. Thank God I didn't use any kind of curse words, but I do. But whatever, what are you going to do? End the episode. So bad. Oh. Oh, well. That's so bad. So bad. Oh, well. There's nothing worse. Damn it. Oh, well. Oh, it's so horrible. It's so bad. What? Oh. Oh, my God. Oh, so good, too. Ugh. Oh, God, Jesus. Candle's so good. Hmm.